Okay, the last scenario that we're going to do in this Canva training is sometimes when you start off, you pick, say, okay, I've got the Facebook page, but now what I need to do is create this little, this profile picture, right? Well, this profile picture is a completely different size than the page is, right? So we could do a couple things. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to save this file and we're going to save it to a folder, and we're just going to rename and create a brand new folder, and we're going to call it Facebook page demo, and add to new folder. Okay, so now it's saved that file to that folder. Now what we want to do is we want to resize this to a square. Typically for a square on this type of, you're going to do a 1080 by 1080. You could also do 512 by 512. You could do 600 by 600. The dimensions really doesn't matter as long as it is a square, not a rectangle. So we're going to do a size and magic switch. And we're going to do, let's say 1080 by 1080. And continue. And it's going to give you an option of copy it and resize it, or just resize the design. Well, we don't want to overwrite our rectangle because we still use that for a page, and we may want to change that later on for the cover. So we're just going to copy it and resize it. And we're going to open the 1080 by 1080. And it resized it for us. Now, it is ugly, right? It doesn't, we got the image in the background still, we got some other stuff, right? So we just need to make a few changes. So we're going to click this and we're going to adjust the size. Going to get rid of that image. You could also delete the background image, but I don't think that's going to help very much because it still has the frame back there. And we're just going to readjust this. And we know that this is not really the right size anymore, right? So we're going to change that. We're just going to increase that size a little bit more. Move this around. There we go. And we may want to make this a little bit bigger. That's a little bit too big probably. And move that over here. And we're going to increase the font size here. Stretch that out a little bit. We're going to do something a little bit different here as well. This is definitely a little bit too small. Move that down. Oops. And increase that. There we go. And let's change this font or this image also. Make it a little bit more size appropriate. Perfect. And let's put this in the center. Notice those up and down and the vertical and the horizontal center lines. So that works well. And we want to make sure that this is centered with the line above it and that's centered. We can now align it to that button. And now we want to put these into a group. So you just highlight all of them. And I'm just holding down the Shift key and clicking it, and we're going to group that together. So now if I click and drag it, I can drag it anywhere as a group. But if you notice, it looks a little bit bare in the bottom right-hand corner. So what I like to do is add some design elements. And there's all kinds of design elements in here. So you can put some, let's say, dots. So here's some dot patterns right here. So you might want to put some dot patterns in there. And here we go. Shrink that down a little bit. And I think these are a little bit too dark. So I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to click on this right here, which is transparency. I'm going to make this a little bit more transparent. There we go. And might even make it a little bit bigger. Just putting a nice little design element in that background. to give it a little bit more excitement. Now, if you don't like those dots, you can pick any of the other dots. It doesn't really matter. You can also put the fade dots in here, but that does have a white background. You could put, these dots are pretty cool. That's pretty cool right there. And let's make those a little bit transparent. Perfect. So there you go. So now, obviously, this really wouldn't be for this, but you could use it as an image on your website. Wrong one. You could make this, well, let's see what it looks like. What the heck? Share it, and let's download this. And we're going to do a JPEG again. Download it. And this is a profile pic. Click save. And let's see what that looks like. We're going to change the image here. I'm going to upload a new photo. And there it is right there. And click save. So it's uploading that photo right now and it's adding it to it. There you go. So that's how you can make there. I don't know if I would actually do this because it is pretty small, the text and everything. You probably don't want to make it that small. I don't know who would be able to actually read it, right? So you do need to make the image appropriate for how it's going to be used. That's the whole purpose of this training. I'm going to change that image back here. Go. All right, let's see what else we can do with this. So now that everything is made with the changes, you want to go to File, and you can save it. It automatically saves, so you're good to go there. You can also view your version history. This one's not receiving comments. You can find and replace text. You can open it on a desktop application. You can import new files. So you have lots of different options here on the left-hand side as well. You can also add some guides. I didn't go over this at all, so let's add some guides. Guides just help you out with where your grid placement is. So if I needed a 3x3 grid, and what you try and do is you try and keep things organized. So all this information is kept in this grid, and this information is kept in this 4-piece grid right here. This one's here. I've been doing graphic design for 30 years, so I kind of know that grid already, which is why things are kept in those. Of course, I spelled specialist wrong, but I'm a graphic design, not a typist, apparently. So that's how you use the gridding. All right, well, I hope this was helpful, and this was a basic introduction to Canva. Make it a great one. Bye-bye.